Ron?
Bill, it's hard to tell that the apartment complex had 8 apartments because what's left is just charred wood and ashes. The apartment complex, as you mentioned, was vacant, but across the street here where I'm standing, there's a house. It was not vacant. Let me show you how close the flames came to this house here. As you can see, the heat from the fire melted the vinyl siding on the home. Now, a husband and wife live inside. They say this morning was very frightening.
I was just scared in case our house got burnt too. That's what I was worried about.
The apartment fire across the street was an early morning wake-up call for Sadie and David Cornelius. They were resting in their home.
At like 4 o'clock in the morning, I could see the flashing of lights and all. Looked at the curtains, there were about 10 fire engines there, you know.
Port Arthur firefighters were busy early Wednesday morning going from one fire to the next, a total of 3. The first fire around 1:20 in the 800 block of 12th Street at a home under renovation. The second, only a few blocks away, in the 1000 block of Pecos Avenue. It struck a vacant home. The third, only 2 blocks away at the corner of 7th and Pecos, destroyed a vacant apartment complex. It's across the street from the Cornelius family's home.
It was flaring up, and this, possibly a quarter of it was still standing. The firemen knocked all that down, you know.
From inside their home, they could feel the heat from the flames.
And I felt the window inside, and it was kind of warmish, you know. And I thought something's going to happen.
But it wasn't until daybreak they realized how close the flames and heat really got.
Got up this morning and found all this here.
Melted vinyl siding that insurance can replace, evidence of a fire that came just feet short of extending its damaging reach.
Too close for comfort.
Now again, investigators say the fires were set deliberately. If you have any information about the fire, you are asked to call the Port Arthur Fire Department Arson Division. That number is 409-983-8737. Reporting live in Port Arthur, Ron Reynolds, KFDM 6 News.
Ron Reynolds has been covering the story since early this morning. He is outside the jewelry store tonight with more on what happened and reaction. Ron?
Bill, a major crime scene earlier this morning into the afternoon. The investigation has since wrapped up, and there's really no indication that there was a robbery and a shootout here at the Randy's Jewelry Store, which is located in the Oaks Shopping Center off Dowling near Calder and West Beaumont. But if we zoom in and if you look closely at the window here, you can see 2 bullet holes that are the result of a shootout.
Police cars in yellow tape surrounded shattered glass and bullet holes at Randy's Jewelry Store.
I'm glad I wasn't here when it happened, but I almost was.
All part of a crime scene that looks like the one Loretta Myers saw at the same store only about 2 weeks ago.
So I'm going to be very cautious from now on for sure.
In both cases, Myers was heading to work at Strings and Things, only a couple of doors down from Randy's Jewelry in the Oaks Shopping Center.
You know, there was another robbery within about 2 weeks.
Several robbers hit the jewelry store April 27th. Wednesday morning, police say the 35-year-old suspect, Joshua Nowlin of Orange, acted alone.
He came to the door posing as a customer. They allowed him inside the store. He began to ask to look at certain items, and the employees started helping him look at those items. When they did that, he announced that it was a robbery.
Sergeant Flores says the suspect ordered a female customer and the store owner's wife to get on the floor. Shortly after that, Nowlin and store owner Randy Flateau got into a confrontation and exchanged gunfire.
Sometime during that, he fired one shot, which struck the owner in the leg, entered the front and exited the back of the leg. He's in good condition at St. E's right now. The owner had a weapon. He engaged him inside the store. There was a gunfight inside the store, and the owner was able to strike the robber at least 4 times.
Friends and relatives of the owner and his wife rushed to the jewelry store to make sure they were okay. A couple trying to earn a living, twice victimized in less than 2 weeks.
I know him and his wife, and they're both very nice people, and it's a shame that had to happen to them.
Now, the employees I spoke to say they will continue to come to work, and they hope that the shoppers will continue to come here to the shopping center as well. And they say they are glad in this case, unlike before, the suspect didn't get away. To read more about the robberies, log on to our website, kfdm.com. Reporting live in West Beaumont, Ron Reynolds, KFDM 6 News.
A perfect photo opportunity. Superintendent-elect Dr. Timothy Shagwa signing his contract. And no argument among trustees about him becoming the district's next top educator.
About Dr. Shagwa at all has nothing to do with him. I still stand 100% behind him.
But BISD board member Mike Neal said he had to sit down when he heard details about Shagwa's contract.
I didn't know about it until I got home after the meeting and saw the 10 o'clock news.
Neal says he was shocked because he attended every closed-door meeting when there were discussions about Shagwa's contract.
I personally, during one of the executive sessions, made a comment, and I believe I had some support in it, that we thought just the opposite, that it shouldn't have an automatic raise inside the contract.
According to the contract, Shagwa gets an annual salary of $215,000, which amount shall be automatically increased each year by an amount equal to the greater of the highest percentage raise given to the district's teachers, or percentage mutually agreeable to the board and the superintendent.
So I take responsibility for not reading over the final version. However, having said that, when we have an attorney who works with us on that, I think it's the job of the attorney to bring back to us the different changes that are being made.
Both Neal and school board president Woodrow Reese believe school board attorney Tanner Hunt added the language without the board's knowledge. In fact, Reese says he didn't even know about Shagwa's annual increase, which is automatically tied to teachers' raises, until after it was reported on KFDM.
The contract was gone through even by Channel 6 and yourself, Ron. You saw some language, and it was a concern, and that's why we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Reese says he has spoken to the district's attorney, who did not return our calls. Reese says the district plans to stick to the binding agreement, and although there appears to be an oversight over key wording in Shagwa's contract, they still believe he's the best man for the job.
If there are other circumstances, which I can't go into right now, that we felt that the superintendent did not deserve it, but the employees did, that would be another issue. But at this point, I would say 99.9% of the time, if your staff is doing good, then people that are in administration must be doing a pretty good job themselves.
Now, trustees say they would have gone into executive session and reviewed the final contract had they known that changes had been made to the previous version. To read Shagwa's entire contract, you can log on to KFDM.com.